KNAC.com. Welcome back. Excuse me if I sound a little bit under the weather. I think it's an overdose of metal because there's just been an amazing amount of concerts that have been coming through Los Angeles. October has become Rocktober, and one of not just the concerts of the month, but I would have to definitely say one of the concerts of the year was that with the Clash of the Titans with Testament and Creator and openers Possessed. Amazing, amazing, amazing show here in Los Angeles at the Hollywood Palladium, one of my favorite venues. Eric, thank you so much for your time. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it was a great show. I mean, the Palladium's like one of our favorite places to play there. We don't really play there all the time, but we have a little history there. And I forgot how beautiful it is. It's been a while, but yeah, it was a great show, man. We had a great time. Great
Yeah,
crowd.
I'm sure. Like, LA, when it comes to thrash metal and Testament, and you guys come around and they just eat it up. And what better place than the Palladium with a huge, huge general admission floor just opening it up. The
Yeah,
pitch, from your perspective, must have been insane.
it was really cool. Yeah, everybody indulged and had a good time. And I think, so the next night was our hometown at the Warfield, and that was a great show as well. But I kind of LA kind of took it. It was like after that, we're like, I don't know. We'll have to see. We even told our crowd, like, I don't know.
hmm
LA kind of took it, but they're both great shows. But yeah, the Palladium was a standout show of the tour for sure.
Very cool, very good. Thank you for that. From the fans, we all thank you for your time. Um, and much respect to the Bay Area and the Warfield. A lot of history there as well, right? You guys have played there like who knows how many times.
Yeah.
So tell us about the Clash of the Titans. How did this originally? First of all, I mean, I'm so glad that you guys brought it to the States because when I heard that you guys announced this overseas, me and my buddy were like, "Oh my God, I hope they bring this to the States. I hope they bring this to the States." And what, maybe like a year or two later, you guys bought it finally. We're
Yeah.
so stoked. But
Yeah. I think
how did this come?
the first one was in South America. It was Creator and Testament. And we did all over South America. I think we were there for like 3 weeks, maybe. It was a pretty long tour for South America, and that was very successful. I know Creator had done it again with Sepultura in the States, I think that one did pretty good. But we decided to do another one with them, and that was this one, and it went really, really well. And I'm glad we brought Possessed on because um, it's funny. Possessed was a band that I used to go see before I was even in a band.
Mhm.
So they ended very prematurely. I think they ended like in 87, 88.
Mhm.
I mean, that kind of kept going, but the original lineup.
The original lineup, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When Jeff was still, much respect to Jeff, but yeah, I know what you mean. But go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. And then we were throwing names around, and I think Creator and Testament both were when Possessed got mentioned, we were like, oh, that'd be cool. So yeah, and it went really well. We weren't sure. We're recording our new record, and we thought maybe we would have some singles out by then, but we sometimes it happens where you know we project when we're going to be done when we weren't done, and then there's all these tours lined up. So
Yeah.
we had Europe, the States, and then Europe again, and now it's the record's done, but we have to wait to get it mixed. We're going to have it mixed in January with Jens Bogren. And
Okay.
yeah, I mean, just where everything's lined up, and everything takes a little bit of time. But we decided to, so going back to what I was saying earlier, we decided to do what we did in Europe, which was play the Legacy and the New Order in its entirety.
Mhm.
Of course, there's a couple songs left out, but
Sure.
we're always, pretty awesome. There's a lot of fun playing those songs. I'm
Yeah.
glad it's done now because now we can move on and do some some newer stuff, and we're excited for that.
Yeah, and you guys came through for the that Metal Injection Festival not too long ago and had a New Order, right? Set list as well.
Yeah, it was the same set basically, and it was just,
Mhm.
they were special shows. So,
Mhm.
but this time we took it on tour. So
Yeah, like the big festivals, I guess you have to play a bit of an abbreviated set, right?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of did that in Europe too, but now that we're going back there, it's a total different set.
Yeah.
So I think we're only playing Into the Pit.
Oh wow.
we got
One of my favorite songs of all time.
we got to play that one. So, but yeah,
Of course.
we haven't played Low in a long time. We're playing Low. We haven't played True American Hate in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Blood. It's a lot of ones that we've played them, but it's been a while, so we're excited.
Now, unfortunately, I don't have the set list in front of me, but what was the set list? Could you, for those that weren't there who missed the show, my review will come later. Tell us about the set list that you had for this show, for this tour,
For the tour coming up.
this one that you just had.
Oh, okay, yeah. So most of it was from the Legacy and the New Order. So I think it was like Eerie Inhabitants, New Order, Apocalyptic City, Raging Waters, The Preacher,
The Preacher.
Legions of Death, Alone in the Dark,
Yeah.
First Strike is Deadly, Trial by Fire, which is like Apocalyptic City and Trial by Fire are songs that don't play that much. That was a lot of fun to do those. Yeah, pretty much stuff like that.
And you mentioned
Haunting.
I'm sorry?
Over the Wall and The Haunting.
Over the Wall, yeah. Great songs. You mentioned First Strike Still Deadly. You guys have recently, I guess, celebrated like a bit of an anniversary, right, of the release. This was like from 2001, right?
Yeah. So, are you talking about the re-release we did?
I guess it was with the re-release, right?
Yeah. So we remastered the first two records, and we also threw in like a LP size gatefold, booklet, and lots of really cool photos and stuff that we've had personally. Not just stuff that was, published a long time ago. This is stuff that we've kind of had our own, slides and pictures that me and Chuck put together. And also it's got some deal memos from the, when we first got signed, which is cool. So it's just, I think really cool. I mean, it's remastered. It sounds a lot better. I think it's a little bit louder, a little more clear. Those back then, especially, I would definitely say, especially coming up with Souls of Black, we're going to actually remix that one.
Oh, okay.
So we have shapes for that. So we're excited about that. But yeah, so yeah, the first two got remastered and there's some cool artifacts in there.
Yeah. Talking about re-releases, I was actually going to mention that whole the Spitfire and excuse me, Nuclear Blast deal that you guys have that you have now back in your possession. I guess the first 6 albums, and you've been like re-releasing all this material, right? I think when the recent one was Practice What You Preach was the recent one.
Yeah, that one. I don't know if that one's out yet. But yeah, so it's basically we got the rights back to our first 5 or 6 records. And the Legacy and the Order were up last year, and now Practice is coming up, and then next year will be Souls of Black.
Souls of Black.
So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and somewhere I still have my Practice What You Preach cassette tape in my little box somewhere, so I got to bring that out. I got to find myself a tape deck. As far as like merch like that, vinyl tapes, what do you see as like kind of the hot seller nowadays?
Well, LPs are very, very popular again. That's really cool, and I like the idea of. I mean, I still buy LPs. I'm a big fan of that. I mean, just seeing the art in a bigger, just right there in front of you instead of like a little jewel case, and also the special stuff that you can put in an LP. And just I don't know, it's putting the needle on the record, and
the sound is so crisp, right? Like it's like the best. Way above a CD or a cassette tape.
Well, I mean, okay, when the CDs came out, obviously the sound was a lot better, but they're making LPs like they used to make them, with the 180 grams, and I think there's a little bit more love putting into it. So, more love put into it. Yeah, it's just something special. There's a lot more warmth, I think.
Yeah.
So everything to do with LPs, as far as like, the turntables, speakers, the albums themselves.
Sure. Yeah.
A lot of love being put back into it, to where, when LPs were done, I remember pulling records out and they would just be like floppy. No, I think they're just being manufactured way too quickly, and
Right.
um, CDs came out. It was awesome, but I don't know. So there's something really special about vinyl.
Yeah. And coming from you, like, what's the process to, okay, we make this decision to release vinyl from that point on till you actually have it in your hands physically? Like, I heard it's a bit of an ordeal, or it was. Like, what's that like now?
So there was when it started getting popular again, there was only so many um, manufacturing plants that did it. A lot of them were in Europe, especially like in Prague and I think Germany. There wasn't that many in the States now, and the turnaround time was probably like 4 to 6 months. Now they're so popular, there's a lot of places opening up and making LPs again. So now the turnaround time is actually quicker than CDs, I think, or just as quick. So
Wow.
wanted to have a bundle deal with LPs, cassette, everything. You'd have to plan way in advance. But now
Sure.
on a normal, it's kind of maybe like a month or two.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
And as far as the cost, it's like totally worth it, right?
totally. Yeah,
Very cool. You
yeah,
know what I liked that I saw? I think it was at the Metal Injection Festival that you guys bought those little CD long boxes from back in the day.
yeah. I remember that was the first. Yeah, I mean,
I love those.
yeah, I mean, when they first took it over, they felt like people were like used to something big, and you know, I don't
And
know.
the
It's just
sleeve pops out on the bottom.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I love it because like you have like a big chunk of the artwork right there. I remember having like just I would tape them together and I have like this big collage of all these like CD covers.
That's awesome.
But so let's go back to practice what you preach. You released a visualizer, I guess, a lyric video, a visualizer, I guess is what they call it now, but a lyric video, right, for A Time Is Coming. Uh, kind of politically charged, right? And considering it's Monday here in Los Angeles, and the voting polls are going to be opening. I mean, they've been open, but without too much detail into that, the politically charged aspect of metal as a whole, your lyrical content, the song "Time Is Coming." Tell us your thoughts on all that.
Okay, so I think more so on the label putting that together. I mean, it wasn't a request of ours, but when they put it together and we looked at it, the timing of it, we were like, oh boy. I mean, obviously we talk about politics and religion and
Yeah,
mystical stuff, but I think it's always from a perspective of just our opinion, or not our opinion, but just what it is. So I think when I watched the video, I wanted to make sure that it wasn't like taking any sides.
right.
Like this is what's happening.
Yeah,
I don't think it's pro anything or con, and it's just it's what it is.
yeah,
And
yeah.
song, I mean, I think it's a great song to pick because it's one of the songs that didn't really get pushed as much. I mean, I believe we played it live when the record came out,
Yeah.
but kind of dropped off, and we ended up playing like Sins of Omission and Practice What You
That's
Preach.
what you preach. Yeah.
And when the ballad, we played the ballad a lot. But then, 30 years later, we're still playing Practice What You Preach, but we're not really playing any of the other ones. I think Time Is Coming is a clever song.
Yeah, totally. It's a B side, I think, right?
I was like, man, this song could be, it's got its own sound back then, but I think with our sound now, it could be really cool. So I think we're actually considering uh relearning it and
Oh,
putting it in
man.
Europe.
Very, very cool. Glad
Yeah.
to hear that. You have such a powerhouse group right now. Steve DiGiorgio, Alex Skolnick, Eric Peterson. Chuck is sounding amazing. And then now you have this the new young blood, Chris Dobus. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you bring him into the fold?
So yeah, when we departed with Gene, which was a very full, and it's just COVID kind of messed everything up. Schedules got pushed back. Our schedule got pushed back. I know Gene had a lot of commitments with other things, and it was just like a train wreck when everything opened up. Everybody's just like, ah.
Yeah, man.
So. But anyway, yeah, we got a lot. We put the word out, and a lot of tapes came in, and videotapes, that is. And there was a lot to choose from. And Chris was definitely, like number one. I believe I was going to give him a call. I might have even had a meeting with him, but then Dave called us, and he was, his calendar was open. He was totally full. It kind of made sense. It's like
Lombardo?
Yeah, Lombardo. So
Wow.
when he did the gathering with us, it was his
Yeah, my favorite records.
yeah, his stay in the band was kind of premature. So it was kind of a no-brainer. We were just like, this for right now where we're at with Gene Hoglan leaving, Dave Lombardo coming into it would be, I think the fans would like it. It wouldn't be trying to explain this guy is whatnot. We had a lot with them. It didn't work out as long as we thought it would, but we still had a lot of fun. There were some shows that Dave couldn't do that he had committed to, but he was like, "Hey, I forgot I had this gig and this gig," and we were like, "Oh, this is here we are." But
Yeah.
I went back and revisited, and I was like, "This Chris guy," and everybody's like, "Well, what about Paul Bostoff? What about
Yeah.
John Testa?" All great players, people that we've played with in the past, and
Yeah.
great in the band. But I was just pointing out, why don't we get someone that we know is not going to go, okay, so I'll sign up for this month, but next month I got to do this.
Yeah.
And for us, I was just kind of tired of doing that. So,
Yeah.
long story short, gave him a call, and he was able to fill in for Dave for like a week. And when we jammed with them for the first time, we were just like looking at each other like, how does he know these songs better than us? And or hey, do you know this song? He knew all our songs, and he had this fresh vibe, and we were just like, wow. It was an obvious choice.
Right. Some sort of advice that you would give aspiring drummers or just musicians in general, because it seems like there's been a influx of a lot of no disrespect to Chris, but like just people out of the blue coming in and jumping on with all these big name bands. What kind of advice, as you in need of somebody to, take the throne, what is it that you look for? What advice would you give to those who are trying to step into that spotlight?
I mean, times are different now, and there's so much stuff going on, and there's it's kind of into being a lot of bands, I guess. I don't know. To me, I think just being one band and stick to it, and focus on that and make that strong, make a very strong foundation what you got, rather than you know kind of half-ass here and there. I don't even mean half, but you know
No,
what I mean.
I know what you mean. Right, right.
Just focus on put
The one
everything
thing.
what you're believing in, what your one band. I think that'll build a strong foundation, and at times are going to get tough, but
Yeah.
times it makes the band stronger.
Mhm.
And I think that's what we were shooting for when we got Chris, is just let's bro, do you want to do this? We don't call us in 6 months to say, hey, blah 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 called me up, and it's like, just do this.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very mutual. And I wrote a record with him, and it's going to be an amazing record. I'm super excited for everybody to hear it. It's all over the place, but it's very focused, but there's a lot of elements going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So congrats to Chris. That's awesome. And you talked about the new album. So without giving away too much, you said like you're in the process of mixing it. Is that what you said?
It's good.
And
Yeah.
then
I would say we're like 95% done recording it. There's some solos to do. I might
sure.
go add a couple of, extra little drums, bass, little bit of guitars need to be done. Alex, some solos for me. I think Chuck's got like two or three songs left to do. But everything's pretty much in the can. I mean, it's all the hard work's done. So,
Yeah.
we could definitely play it for people and go, look, we got a record.
Right. And we're I guess expecting some sort of like early 2025 release, I guess.
Definitely for singles, yes. Release wise, I would maybe more in the summer.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I guess we could push it and put it out in May, but we'll see what the record company wants to do. I definitely people will be hearing a couple of songs by April, May for sure.
Yeah. Can't wait to
Yeah.
see the videos on YouTube, man. Can't wait to hear the new material.
Yeah.
As far as like, because you guys are touring machines, like surely, like this coming weekend, you're going down to Colombia.
Yeah.
You just came off this tour. You have a bunch of like festivals and shows lined up for 2025. You're going to be in Australia, Sonic Temple, Sig New World. What keeps you going, man? Like you guys have been doing it for decades. Like what keeps you going?
I mean, a lot of different elements. One of them, new blood in the band. A new record that we're real excited about. The re-releases of the older stuff.
Yeah,
Focusing on those, maybe doing tours with. I can't wait to do a practice tour, practice and Souls of Black tour. But that's later. But I mean, that's something to look forward to.
right, right.
Um, the new stuff, yeah, the new stuff. Just building our stage props up and just trying to deliver a show. I mean, we have so many ideas of things that we want to do for a show, which costs a lot of money. So we're like,
Sure.
how do we get it? What do we do?
Right.
How do we keep going? It's a
Yeah,
challenge. It's really a challenge. I mean, I think
of course.
I'm very happy where we're at, but I would like to see us get a little bit bigger and put on, more of a show for people to be like, whoa.
Totally, man. And uh, as far as like the business aspect that you like touched on, as far as the money, what do you feel is more of a worth it, so to speak, for lack of a better term, like playing these large festivals with like a bunch of bands, or just doing, headlining or co-headlining tours on your own?
So, I mean, for me, I prefer to do our own shows because they're organized. We know what we're getting into. The thing about festivals though is getting up and being able to play in front of, you know, 25, 30, 40, 50,000 people. Um, but you're kind of walking into like, a convention center, like a NAM show. There's just so much going on, and there's like, um,
A lot of different state tastes too. Like when you have like festivals like Sick New World, that this new one is like pretty heavy, but you also have a mix of like random bands that aren't really metal, aren't really thrash metal, aren't really death metal. So you got a lot of like different people.
yeah, it's just a lot, it's a big circus act. And I guess not so much now, but in our earlier days, before we knew what to ask for our writers and stuff, sometimes you'd, put yourself in a position to where, you know, you're taking a shower with like 50 other people. Just weird shit, I mean, it's fun, like, I don't know. In the eating situation and just, I don't know. I think now that we've been doing this for a while, we kind of know what to put in our contracts. Like, we want that, at least ask for it.
Right, right. So I again appreciate your time. I know we're kind of going over a little bit. I don't know if you had a scheduled interview after this, but I wanted to touch on a couple of quick things real quick. You guys just released a beer, an IPA. Tell us about that.
The beer.
The beer, yeah. Apocalyptic City, I think it was called.
Yeah. Oh, what a great beer. So, I thought
Yeah, when you're on there.
well, I thought we were all done with it and we were unloading the truck. There was all these cases and I was like, yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, check it out. So I got a nice cold one for tonight.
Man, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So yeah, it is what is this? It's a West Coast IPA,
Mhm.
and it's got dry hopped with hand selected Simcoe, Citra, Mosaic, and Sultana.
Sounds good.
Gold Pills Vienna Malt. Oh, it's really, really good. It's like a darker, not dark, but like an amber IPA.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, you can order it, I believe, from Modest Brewing Company. They're in Minneapolis, and I think they ship everywhere.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a great beer. I love the name of it too.
Yeah. Apocalyptic City. Yeah, and the artwork is amazing. I love that. That one, and I wanted to ask about the brazen coffee as well.
I just finished the I brought some home from tour, and I thought, oh, this will last a while. It's been like a week. It's gone.
That's good. That means it's good. Real cool. I love my coffee as well. That's very good.
Yeah.
Any thoughts of maybe having a coffee stout or a porter?
What's that?
Any thoughts of having a beer that's a coffee stout or a porter?
We did a black IPA, and that was amazing. I think the next one we're going to do is something more like a Pilsner,
Yeah.
like that. I know everybody in the band's not IPA fans. Alex, my drummer, Chris, of course, we're fans of that. Steve and Chuck are more of Pilsner lager kind of guys.
Okay, good to know.
So yeah, we'll do something different, but this one's available still.
Right on, right
Really
on.
pretty strong too. It's 6%. Ooh,
That's nice.
got to be careful.
Congratulations on getting the key to the city when you guys made a stop at Albuquerque, New Mexico. How did you feel about that?
That was really cool. Yeah, I mean, usually they give the band one with the name on it, but they had something special. They gave each of us one with our name on it,
That's amazing.
and I'm like, so if I'm in the city and I'm a little bit out of control, I just go that the guard or so what they are, they're replicas of the old jailhouses in New Mexico.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
old. Do you want to see what it looks like?
Sure, if you got it handy, yeah.
Yeah, let me go grab it real quick. We can fast forward that, or is this live?
Yeah, I'll cut it. I just kind of edit stuff out, no worries.
Fox.
Metal Mayor, very cool.
Yeah, he's really, really, really cool guys. And then, so here's the key.
That's awesome.
So it's like an old, and I think you can see my name on there.
Very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We were like, wow, that's very cool.
Awesome. Congrats to you and the band. Eric Peterson, shredder extraordinaire from the Mighty Testament, just came off the Clash of the Titans tour, one of the concerts of the year. I'm saying it right now.
Right
Going to
on.
be touring like animals next year. We have the new album coming out next year. Thanks again for your time. KNAC is always welcoming to Testament. Do you have any, stories real quick about KNAC?
Oh yeah. So back in the day when we used to drive to LA to do shows, right when we'd go over the grapevine, we would dial it in. As soon as KNSC came on, it's like, yes,
Yeah.
really, really cool metal. Yeah. It's just, I mean, we had in the Bay Area, we had I don't remember some of the stations, but I mean, we played Judas Priest, they played Journey, they played Boston. We would get the Scorpions a little bit, but you guys were just playing like Venom and just a lot of Motley Crue back then, so that they weren't really big yet. So
Yeah.
a big variety of metal, and you just knew you're in LA.
Right. And because of them, it's like I got exposed to Testament, so I was like, oh, what is that? I gotta get that tape. I'm gonna do that. So, but again, thanks for your time, Eric Peterson. Testament, hails and horns to everybody in the camp there. Any parting words for your fans?
We can't wait to come back to LA next year with a new record, and yeah, we'll see you guys. Thanks for the great reception at the Palladium. It was awesome.
Of course, of course. Much love from the fans in LA. We thank you and see you soon.
All right,
Cheers.
take care.